main goal of our group project is to recognize and eliminate negative stereotypes between the relationships of Kansas State students involved in the Greek system and those who are not. All of us have felt that there are negative views from both communities when thinking about the other that they are not a part of. Since we recognize this, we felt that it was important to bring K-State together as a family and eliminate the negative connotations that people have when it comes to being affiliated or not. Our goal is to help others see that separation within the K-State family is only hurting friendships that could be made for themselves.
Dogwood flowers, and I'm hoping for Raleigh I could see my baby tonight.
I'm Andrea, and I am the Acting Director and Associate Director of Greek Affairs. So currently, just under 20% of the students at K-State are affiliated with Greek organizations. I think the separation comes sometimes in not knowing anyone who's affiliated, so I think it's easy to not like what we don't know, but when you come into classes and you work with people on group projects, who hopefully don't suck on group projects, because then I have ruined things just a little bit, but I think when you work with people who are in those organizations and doing great things, I think that kind of changes people's minds. And I know sometimes with our fraternity community, the reason men aren't in fraternities is simply because no one's asked them to join. Because sororities, we have the benefit of it's 1 week, everyone signs up, does the same thing, it's good. With fraternities, we kind of have to, do a little of our own background work, find our own connections, and if I don't know that, that's a little tougher. And so I think some of it, it's no one's asked the question or said, you would be a great member, you would really get a lot out of this organization. So I think that's where some of the disconnect comes. I also think there's just some people who are never going to be interested. And that's okay. Like, not everyone, our goal in this office or in general is not for 100% of this campus to be Greek. Our goal is for the people who want those opportunities to join, to get those opportunities, and I think for those people that aren't joining, our goal is definitely to give them a favorable opinion of our groups and also to give them opportunities to be engaged in maybe service and philanthropy opportunities as they're interested. So I think and kind of looking at other campuses I've been on, I think the relationship is generally pretty positive.
The first thing we did was create a survey and send it out to people at K-State. We asked about different stereotypes people have about Greeks and non-Greeks. Everyone that we asked had their own stereotypes of each side, both good and bad. In the end, the people we interviewed had good things to say about each side, and it's the stereotypes that have the major effect on what people think about Greeks and non-Greeks.
But he's headed west from the Cumberland Gap.
I don't think that there's an intentional divide. I think there can seem like there is one, but at the same time I don't think it's ever really purposefully put there. But I can understand how some people think there is, just because there can be some things where it just seems like it's very Greek and other things that it seems like it's very non-Greek. But I think there is some interaction at the same time. My best friend in the whole world, she is a non-Greek, and although I tried to get her to join me just so that it would be nice to call her my sister and my best friend, but it's kind of not her thing, so it's really fine. I mean, it doesn't bother me, it doesn't bother her. We get along just the same. When we're together, it doesn't matter that I'm Greek and she's not, we're still best friends.
I think sometimes the stereotype is that a non-Greek is less involved on campus and maybe a little less involved socially. That's the stereotype, and just like the fraternity stereotype of always throwing kegers and everything, that I just don't think it fits. A lot of the most involved people I know are not in fraternities. At the same time, I know a lot of really involved people who are.
There's always the GDI, goddamn independent stereotype, so, the people who are deliberately countercultural, like, damn the man, screw the system. I think that can certainly be one stereotype. But I think another interesting stereotype about people that don't choose to go Greek is that there may be something socially deficient with them, like they don't know how to make friends, or they can't be in a group, and that sounds preposterous, because like any affinity group, if the sorority fraternity isn't for you, or there's not a particular chapter that resonates with you, I don't think that's any reflection on how social you are or aren't, but I think that may be something we jump to.
Besides changed since I've been in college. I think I came into college thinking that Greeks were these kind of the stereotype of, whether it be like stuck up or, you know, the silly stereotypes that people throw around, or that there's cliques, things like that. But I think that as I've continued to just grow in college and learn new things, like, I think that my perception has completely changed. That there's no difference between the Greek system and also just like the people that are occupated base or live in the dorms or live wherever they do. And so I think that my perception has definitely changed from these stereotypes that society kind of creates to learning who the people are, and realizing that the Greek system isn't about these stereotypes. It's more about just who the people are, and that they're real people and they're just the same as anybody else.
Over the course of this project, we've been able to come up with all of these opinions and statistics on Greek life versus non-Greek life, and seen how it varies from person to person. We've seen pros and cons to both sides and seen success come from both as well. So what does this say? Basically, what this comes down to is that there is a wall that exists that doesn't need to. It's a barrier that has been put up by the people within each group, but really, when you get to know individuals of each side, we are all just the same. We're all people, and that's what we forget, and that's what is getting lost in our campus today. This wall is imaginary, but we let our minds believe that it's true. What is going to break down this wall? People realizing that simple truth.
I'm falling